Hi there, it's me Crystal, and today I want to talk about books and reading and also like what makes me not want to read a book anymore. So, one of the first things I noticed was that if I didn't know where I was immediately like pulled out of the story. And when I say I don't know where I am, I don't mean like I need a lot of description. I just need like a sense of where I am. If I can't trust the author to place me somewhere, then I can't trust the author to carry me on a journey. Because I'm just like, reading time is precious. It's like I work, I write. I want to read books that are good. I have TV shows I want to watch. Like, I don't have time to like stumble through a story and try to figure out where I am. So that's the biggest thing that bothers me. If I don't know where I am, I'm not going to keep reading the book because it's not that hard. You know, like paint a picture for me. I don't have time to be like building and creating a whole world in my head when I'm reading a book. I'm reading to relax and I want a picture painted for me. I want a story told to me, you know? Second thing that trips me up is obviously an obvious thing is technical errors and weird stuff like that. I don't see this too often. I have seen it, technical errors up the wazoo. Like misplaced commas and like formatting issues. Super cringy, hard to read, a mess. And that's distracting when it happens a lot. If it happens a few times, you're just like, okay, whatever. But when it happens a lot, then you start thinking, okay, did anybody like look at this before it went out to the public? Seriously? Like, you're wasting my time. I'm so mad right now. And obviously, like, a third thing would be, like, bad writing, bad grammar. That stuff is distracting. To some people, if the story is good enough, they can ignore it. I have been one of those English snob people my entire life. I'm not like the grammar police. I don't, like, attack people for, like, their grammar, especially when they're talking. When they're writing, I am. It's like, if it's written down, like, I am mentally, like, fixing it in my head. One of my writing friends actually gave me this tote bag, like, as a gift for, like, beta reading her story, which was so sweet, because I don't do that, and most people don't do that. And it says, I am silently correcting your grammar. And I'm like, yes. So, I mean, that's an obvious thing. And as an English snob, those things bother me. They're very distracting. I stare at them. I have to spend time in my head mentally correcting it. Also because I'm OCD, it really bothers me. So it helps me mentally to fix it and then move on, because I can't leave it like that, and I can't physically actually fix it, so I fix it in my head, if that makes sense. I think I'm on thing number 4. So this is a pretty big one that bothers me quite a bit, because like I said, I don't pick up a lot of books that have like grammar issues or mechanical issues or technical issues or writing that's so bad like I can't get through it. So those aren't really big factors, but this number 4, that is a pretty big deal. So the book I'm going to use as an example is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And I wanted to read this book because it sounded like it was right up my alley, and it sounded dark and fun. I saw the movie that came out some years ago, and I actually did like the movie. I mean, there are problems with the movie, but I did like it, and so I bought the book before I saw the movie, but like I didn't want to read the book and then turn around and see the movie immediately, because you do that sometimes and then you're just like mad at the movie instead of like being able to appreciate the movie as the different form of medium that it is, you know? So I picked it back up, and in chapter 1, it's a long chapter, and it like switches point of views like, I don't know, 4 times. But anyway, that's not the problem I had. The problem I had was with Clary. In the first chapter, Clary goes to this nightclub with her best friend, who I loved in the movie. And it's like a teen night or whatever. And Clary sees this guy she thinks is so hot. And like he goes into this room and she's like spying on him and being creepy, because that's what teenage girls do when they find somebody attractive. And then she sees these guys go into this room after him, and they're carrying these big knives. So what do you think is a sensible thing to do? No, what does Clary do? Clary tells her friend, whose name I forget, she's like, oh my gosh, go get like the bouncer, the security guard or whatever. And then she goes into the room, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not reading this book and following you around this journey, and you're stupid. Okay, they call it this too stupid to live kind of character. that's what Clary is to me. And I know it was just one chapter, but it's kind of like I was just not in the mood, okay? And so I was just like, this girl's an idiot. I just can't. I don't think I'm going to give up, but I think I am going to read Clockwork Prince, but I'm going to read the graphic novel version and then see how I feel about that, and then I might just stick to the graphic novels, or maybe I'll actually read that. I heard that some people like it better than the Mortal Instruments series, so we'll see. In any case, we're down to thing number 5, which is actually the number 1 thing that I hate. I hate pop culture references with a passion. Part of that is because I live in a box, and I live there on purpose, and when people say pop culture references, like, I don't get it. And honestly, I think pop culture references are lazy. I think if you can say it in a way that it makes sense in context, like you don't rely on the pop culture references to describe something for you, like you use it to enhance your description, and people who get it, that description will be enhanced, and the people who don't get it, it doesn't matter because we have the context to go on. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, like, if there are a lot of pop culture references in a book, like, it drives me crazy because I don't get them, and I spend so much time being confused, and then I get mad that they're using so many in the first place, and then I start hating the book and put it down. If I like a book enough, just like I think how some people are with books that are badly written or they're not so greatly written, they keep reading it anyway because they like the story and they like the characters and they like the world. If I like the book enough and I love the characters enough and the story and the plot and the world, I will keep reading past those pop culture references that I'm finding so offensive. And even when I get them, I notice them and I'm pulled out of the story because I'm noticing this thing. And obviously I don't use very many pop culture references, and if I do, I am loath to do it, and it has to be something that is just my character insists on saying it, you know? Like they just insist on like making a reference to, I don't know, FedEx or something. I don't know if that counts as a pop culture reference, but it's hard for me. It's hard. The struggle is real. And I'm gonna mention one more thing. It's something that irritates me. So I'm gonna use these 2 books as an example. One of them is How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mathers, and then this other book I'm going to mention is Some Quiet Place by Kelsey Sutton, and it is one of my favorite books I've ever read. It is a young adult supernatural horror, and it's creepy, and it is different, and it is strange, and I thought it was fantastic. So I don't read a lot of books with love triangles in them, obviously, and I'm not even going to get into the Hunger Games love triangle because we're not going to go there today. Pissed me off. Long story short, I love Gail and Peeta. I didn't like the love triangle. It was really unnecessary and stupid. Anyway, and Some Quiet Place, I'll talk about this first because I liked it. There was a love triangle, and to be honest, it did not bother me at all. And the reason why it didn't bother me was because the girl, she couldn't like remember stuff, and so I'm like, okay, if she remembers stuff and it turns out to be the things that she remembers have to do with this thing, then she's gonna end up with that guy. And if it turns out to be this thing, she's gonna end up with that guy. And I was fine either way. And the way it was done, it was just done so well, and it didn't bother me because it wasn't unnecessary, and it wasn't forced, and it wasn't stupid. Anyway, as of this video, I am still not done reading How to Hang a Witch, and this is why. There's a ghost, and apparently he's really hot, and she's having weird googly feelings for this dead guy, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, there is a mystery. People are dying. You have stuff to do. And I want to finish the book, and I'm determined to finish the book. But I am so annoyed. And also, like, I'm having a really hard time with this neighbor boy. Like, the neighbor boy likes her, and they keep, like, smooching and stuff. She, like, keeps blowing him off. And then, like, every time she goes to talk to him, like, he's still there. And I'm like, that's not realistic. I'm like, the guy has no self-respect. And so I am just so annoyed. Every time he's like kissing on her, she's like, oh, feeling all googly. But every time she looks at this hot ghost, she's like, oh my gosh, he's watching me. Oh my gosh. And I'm just like, you gotta be effing kidding me. Please stop. end it. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. So, yeah, feel free to tell me why you put books down. And, yeah, I will see you guys in another video. Bye.